Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And in this lesson, I'm going to entitle it, let's see, let me take a look at the title I have on here. The Lord was listening the whole time. Okay, the Lord was listening the whole time. And the title is inspired by something that I thought about, based on just an experience. And I'm sure other brothers, other believers, sisters as well have experienced this, where, there are certain things that you may ask the Lord for, or you may in your spirit ask for or desire or want. And there comes a time when even you forget about it, right? And maybe it's something you ask for, you ask for, you ask for. It may not be the most major thing in the world, but it may be something that you really, wanted, or something that you mentioned. And it could take some time, but the Lord, he hears all of that. And you may not, it may be some time and you may not get it, or you may get something similar, or you may get something not exactly that way, but that's all on purpose. And there are times when the Lord does remember those things, right? Not times, he always knows and remembers those things. But there are times when it manifests exactly as you were asking for, even after so much time had passed. And that's why it's also important to pay attention to detail, because you catch these things and you see that, this whole entire time, even when I forgot what I was asking for, and I at some point I just just moved past it, the Lord didn't. And at the right time, he gave it to me exactly what it is that I asked for, which is also important as to why you have to be specific, right? When you make certain requests to the Lord, you got to be specific. When your car, something is not working too well with your car and you take it to the mechanic, they're going to ask you some questions. When you go to the hospital, you go to a doctor, you say you're not feeling well, they're going to ask you some questions, right? You go to the DMV, they're going to ask you some questions. Wherever you go that you need to be serviced, they're going to ask you some questions. All right. Even if you made an appointment with the place, they're going to ask you some questions. Why are they going to ask you some questions? Because they need specifics. I'm not feeling well. Okay, what are your symptoms? Do you have any pains? Are you what describe it? Tell me a bit more. Oh, my car isn't working right. Okay, what do you notice? Did you hear any weird sounds? What's going on? Let's take a look. And if you can't answer those questions, let's say you go to a mechanic, that's why they have devices that tell them the answers to those questions. They have devices that literally scan your car, it plugs into your car and it reads the diagnostic systems, it gets the codes, and it's able to tell them the story of what is going on with your car to give them the answers that they need. Okay. So why is that important? Because that way, a mechanic solves for the actual problem that your car has, and doesn't, waste time and energy giving you something that he just thinks because you weren't specific enough. So when you go to serve the Lord, or you go to ask the Lord for something, you got to be specific, because that way when he does it, you can see that it's not ambiguous, it wasn't random. The Lord did it, right? Oh Lord, I need some money. Oh Lord, I need some money. Some money. What do you okay, well, what do you want the Chinese yuan? You want to walk around, you walk here, it is, you walk in and you find, maybe a Chinese yuan on the floor one day in the core. That's money. Or you need some money. How much you need? You just say, oh, Lord, I need some money. And he gives you $50. And you're like, damn, I really needed like $500. Well, whose fault is that? You didn't ask. You didn't ask what you wanted. You just said you needed some money. You're too ambiguous. You're too vague. Oh, Lord, you just read my mind, Lord. Is the Lord the one coming to ask you for something, or are you the one who's going to ask him for something? Look, try this on. Try this on. Go say there's something wrong with your car. Take it to the mechanic, and then you pull up on there and you just sitting there in the car. And they come there, they see you there, they come there, hey, what's going on, boss? Hey, I don't know, you tell me. You tell me what's wrong with my car. They're gonna look at you like, look, is this a prank? Or are you trying to you trying to move on and be on your way? Hell you mean I should tell you what's wrong with it? Tell me something. So that was a little detour. Coming back to the point. The Lord listens the whole entire time. Now we know that the Lord listens even when in terms of in the thoughts of the heart, right? The intent of the mind. When people do wrong, when they do wickedness and they think that they can hide, the Lord sees all of that because he knows what's going on in your mind. He knows the things that you've done in secret. But along with that, the Lord also hears the other things. He hears your silent cries. He hears the things that you're vexed about, but it troubles you so much that you can barely even speak it out loud, right? He hears all of those things, the things that you think just don't want to trouble anyone with, and it's just burdening you. He sees and hears that, and remember, we're here to serve the Lord, so we need to be able to do that to the fullest, to the best of our ability. And one of the main things that is very important for that is having a clear mind. A lot of the things that stress us is really something that affects our minds, because that's where it all goes back to. You you know you you do something, somebody does something to you, they insult you, or they they do something that doesn't really sit well with you. It bothers your mind because you think about it. Now you're either angry or pissed off. You're not feeling well, you're not feeling healthy, you're down, your energy is down, your energy activity levels are low. Woman problems, financial problems, they all come and affect your mind, your peace of mind. And that's not good. Okay, because that can affect the quality of the work you do for the Lord. So the Lord sees these things and he lifts those burdens. So it can be tolerable for us to carry. How are we supposed to carry a burden that's crushing us and you can't even move? So the Lord lightens those burdens at times to make it possible for you to move. Now I think it's in the book of Psalm, the 18th chapter. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Real quick. Um Psalm 18, where the Lord mentioned, yeah, so I love this precept. Psalm 18 and 24. Therefore hath the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of mine hands in his eyesight. With the merciful thou wilt shew thyself merciful. With an upright man thou wilt shew thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt shew thyself pure. And with the froward thou wilt shew thyself froward. So when it comes to how the Lord says, he's like, look, this is how I'm gonna deal with you now. If you're faithful, I'm gonna deal with you faithfully. If you're merciful, I'm gonna show mercy to you. Okay? There's no longer, oh, for the sake of others, I'm gonna do this for you. No, which is also an important thing to keep in mind, right? Oh, because you may have a certain level of knowledge that maybe somebody else in the world or somebody else doesn't have. If because of that you become unmerciful, or you're not pure, but you think that you're covering that with your the grace in the Lord as a cloak of maliciousness, the Lord ain't gonna deal with you mercifully, because knowledge is not character. Okay, it can be used to improve your character, but you can know a lot of these things and you can still be a demon. So it's about, the Lord judges you on your actions are based on what you do. How many people know to do good and still don't do it because their nature is not good, right? So, as it says here, with the merciful, thou wilt shew thyself merciful. Now, another precept that goes along with this topic here that I was thinking of is in the book of Sirach, the second chapter, right, where it mentions specifically down to verse 10. Look at the generations, Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? The Lord's track record is immaculate. It's perfect. And it wouldn't be that way if these things weren't true. You got to be able to have that that faith in the Lord and trust that the Lord is going to, he's gonna come through on his word, and he listens. Okay, the Lord listens. He hears the things that we cry out to him for. So, whether it's good or bad, he's listening, but he also listens to the good. Right? Verse 11, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. So keep that in mind as you go through your day to day. The Lord is not unrighteous, right? And he is our Father, right? He is merciful and he does listen. So when you cry unto the Lord, cry with your whole heart because he's listening. And at the right time, he'll give you exactly what you need. So with that, Lord willing, that was edifying and exhorting to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rachakudash. Until next time, Shalom.